What's up, everybody? This is your host, Sean Johnson, the creator of Bench Minor Hockey, and welcome to episode number 16 of our Bench Minor Hockey podcast. This is the hockey podcast that covers single A hockey news, as well as stories from players and staff. If you are listening on the Apple podcast, be sure to follow us. If you're watching us on the YouTube series, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And today's guest, Mr. MJ Maerkl, now with the Elmira Mammoth. How's it going, brother?
Good, Sean. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. So, crazy trade. We'll get to that here shortly, but for those that may not know you, why don't you talk about yourself, your career a little bit so far?
Kind of all started in this league. I want to say it was back in 15 and 16. I played with the Danville Dashers. About 3/4 of a season, went through some injury troubles. The year they won the cup, and kind of left a little sour taste in my mouth. I wanted to come back and get a little taste at it, but went back to Watertown the following year, and coincidentally that was the year they won the cup as well. So ended up breaking my leg in the second preseason game of the year, and you know, I thought that was all it for hockey for me. Um, and then of course, team pops up in your hometown. See a couple familiar faces. It was actually your good buddy Kyle Powell. So he noticed me in the stands in one of the home games, one of the first coming home games, and he's like, "Why aren't you playing?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm past my prime. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this game. I'll stick to coaching." Kind of a way she went.
So
From
at
there.
the time when you were a fan in the stands, you were coaching?
Yeah, I told myself I'd never completely leave the game, so I did do a little bit of coaching here and there, local high school team, stuff like that. But I was actually living up in Buffalo at the time, and it wasn't until I moved back home and noticed they were bringing a team in. And, maybe this could be something. So I went and checked it out, and a couple people told me, "You're like, why aren't you playing?" I was like, I don't really know. It's a lot of risk there, but I don't regret it.
Absolutely. Let's go back in time, back to Danville. So I looked at the stats here. You have 37 games played, 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points.
Story of my
That's
career.
that's pretty low, even for a defenseman. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've always been I had decent numbers in college, but I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm not very offensive. I take a lot of pride in playing defensively and doing my responsibilities in my own end. And sometimes I might not be the best at it, or at 30 years old we might be a little tired at times, but it's something that
Yep.
not really something I focused on. I'm not really known to be a skill guy, so I take pride in my own end more than anything.
Oh yeah, I just had to give you a hard time once I saw those stats.
Yeah. It's always the Pims. The Pims are never.
But that's
short.
all right. That's right. We'll get to those pins in a minute too. So,
Yeah.
Back in Danville, your professional career started there. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like playing professionally for the first time in a place like Danville?
So I originally started in the Southern Professional League. It was with Fayetteville, and when I got released from Fayetteville, of course it wasn't for very long, for obvious reasons. But I didn't really have a plan. I moved back home for probably 2-3 weeks, and I talked to Steve Harrison a couple of times. He was the coach at the time, and he had grown an interest in me. He had known my agent, or my representative at the time, who had initially got me the look from Steve. We took about another 2 weeks after that, going back and forth with Steve on actually setting a date to move out there, because as you know, Illinois is 12 and a half hours away from New York, where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally worked up enough courage to move out there, and it was a bit of a shocker for me, honestly. Not that I would change anything from Danville whatsoever, but I haven't been that far away from home before. The Midwest is just different from the East Coast, that's for sure.
Well, I seen a lot of similarities between Lowville. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but um, I'm from a small town called Carthage. For those that don't know, it's a small town outside of Watertown. But Carthage and Lowville are very country towns. And I remember going to Danville for the first time and seeing hotels in the middle of a cornfield. And I was like, what is going on right now?
Yep.
I was
And I
like, this
mean,
place has
I
professional
went
hockey?
and like I went to Morrisville State, which is a small ag school just east of Syracuse. So like I was somewhat used to it, so it wasn't an initial shock, I guess. But you find little holes in the wall here, a little couple fans here and there. You just like start to
Right.
find out more and
Actually,
more about the town and how much they support it and how crazy these people really are about hockey. And you wouldn't, I never
mhm,
really thought there was that much of a following, to be honest.
gotcha. It's funny they say Morrisville because I remember now we actually had a mutual friend. My friend Kyle Windover, who's actually from Louville, he went to college with you apparently.
Oh yeah, Wendy. That guy's
Windy, the
he's a
Windy
big school
Sports Report.
big school spirit guy. Love Kyle. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What was I gonna tell you? So going back to Danville real quick, I don't know if you tune into the Vermilion County Bobcats games now. I don't know if you still kind of follow them or keep up with them, but if you ever check out the games, I still see more orange Danville Dashers jerseys than I do Bobcats jerseys to this day, and they haven't had a team in a few years now. What are your thoughts on that?
I honestly think it's more of a statement because I think that town didn't really want to see the Dashers go away.
Hmm.
They were around for so long and they were successful, especially the last couple of years. And from honestly when we won the cup on, they had contending teams. Not like I followed that closely, but it's not like you wouldn't think it, but it is a hockey rich town. Like there's a lot of people that have a lot of passion for that team, and they care for the guys that are on it, and they go the extra mile to see if you're all right after a game, stuff like that.
Hmm. No, absolutely. And I mean, even now, I know the Bobcats don't have the best record. Um, I know their attendance is down quite a bit from the Dasher days, but regardless, I know they're not the Dashers. I know they're the Bobcats now. But if you're in the Danville area, go support the team. It doesn't matter what league you're in. Hockey's hockey. Enjoy it while it lasts because it may not last forever,
Absolutely.
as we saw with the Dashers. Anything could happen at any given time.
Yeah.
Now, moving over to Bingo 4 years later. I know Binghamton's your hometown. What is your favorite part about that city?
Um, I didn't get many opportunities. Of course I played like local high school hockey stuff like that and travel, but there's not a whole lot of people that come out to those travel games or high school hockey's like not of decent quality. So it was honestly the games were just kind of the biggest thing for me because I haven't been able to like show people what I've had for quite some time. I mean, not that it's anything, anything to brag about, but I feel like I've come a long way with hockey and from what people
Mhm.
are used to seeing, what I was bringing when I was at a young age and what I bring to the table now, it's, kind of rewarding for me because, people reach out to me after the games. They see me out in the supermarket, stuff like that. And obviously a lot of people know my father and, you know, my family's very much involved with the city. So it's just very fulfilling playing for the team for a year and a half, and I have no regrets. They treated me well up until last little bit.
Right on. We'll move on from that part. Now, how did it feel putting on the green and black and playing in front of 3,000 people night in, night out?
Man, that was like I said, it was kind of like the biggest thing for me. Is like
Yeah.
I know I didn't start many games, and I didn't log like 40, 50 minutes a game like some of these top skill guys, but you're thankful for every minute, right? Like I never honestly thought before last year that I was going to play the game again, and kind of from that point on, it was just gonna, just take it for what it is and get your minutes.
Absolutely. And I actually saw that picture you posted a little while ago. I know it was in a Binghamton jersey. I think you were on the ice and somebody was up in these stands wearing your name and number. I don't know if it was a family member or a fan. I don't know. But how does that feel looking out in the stands and seeing people wear your name and your number?
It's very humbling for sure. I mean, especially like we do the specialty auctions, seeing all these people drop this money on my jersey. It's just you kind of ask yourself why, but I mean, it really makes like playing these games like worth it. It really does. It brings
Right.
like that little bit of extra meaning to the game. Like the support is the biggest thing and what we play for. Um, seeing a full rink is like the best feeling in the world when you're going out for warm up. So it's something we take a lot of pride in.
No, absolutely. Last question about bingo, real quick. Now, what was it like to play for Gary Gill, and what was it like playing for Brant Sherwood, and how did their styles kind of differ?
Um, I can't really say too much on this topic because it's just it's touchy because honestly I don't
Okay.
think that Gary's work is done there. If
Right.
if things were
No.
right in this world, I believe that he's got time to serve there. He built a good team, in my opinion. Brant's been handed a good team. Not that I'm taking anything away from that man's credibility because he was a very good hockey player, very
Mhm.
strong hockey player, had an excelling career, never been a head coach. That's all I'm really going to say on that. But like I'm saying that Gary did good quality work in that town and in that city,
Mhm.
and he cared. Like he did his absolute best to try to make everyone on that team happy, give them the minutes they thought they had, pay them the proper amount of money they thought they deserved, like tell them the things they wanted to hear.
Mhm.
Like there's people in that locker room that like needed the little positive reinforcement after the game.
Right.
And
Well, like you said, Gary will be back. Oh, we don't know when yet. Gary was on my podcast before. I have tremendous respect for Gary. I wish him well. I know he's out for personal reasons. So we wish him well, and we can't wait for him to come back. In the meantime, um, how do you think Brant's doing so far?
I mean, the record shows he's doing pretty well. I know
Right.
the boys have definitely been applying themselves and kind of paying a little bit closer attention to detail, maybe more so than they were when Gary was around. Um, I
Hmm.
will give it to Brant. He does run that team a little bit of a tighter ship. He keeps everyone a little more accountable. Um, and yeah, I mean, hey, they're doing well.
Absolutely. Like you said, record shows they're doing very well. Very good club. Now let's talk about the day you got released. Ultimately, what do you think led Coach Sherwood to releasing you from the club?
Um, I I think there's a lot of reasons. Without getting too much into detail, I think one of the main reasons was the fact that he didn't see my face every day. Not
Mhm.
knowing what I do every day, like I'm a full time like salaried coach. I'm on the ice for like 8 to 10 hours a day. Three different NCDC Premier elite teams. Also working with like a private academy team. So I mean, I guess more or less, he kind of thought I was just like sitting on my butt at work, just on a computer or something like that, and kind of not really applying myself on the ice. And I just kind of think that I rubbed him the wrong way without initially knowing. I think.
Mhm.
Just basically because he didn't see me every day, and he thought that I had a relaxed like look at all of this. That I didn't think that it took the extra work outside of the rink to do all this. Little does he know, like when I'm not on the ice working with the kids or the junior guys, like I'm in the gym. We got a turf room. We got all the amenities up and down in Scranton. So, I mean, it's
Mhm.
just probably a communication thing. But at the same time, I don't have the numbers, so I'm sure it was an easy decision for him. They're very much a run and gun team that is offensive minded, and I am very much not offensive minded. Like I said, I take pride in my own end and keeping the puck out of the net. So then I guess it is what it is.
Or here's a thought: maybe he saw your stats from Danville and just decided to pull the plug.
Could be too. Could be. They're nothing to brag about.
I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you.
Honestly, could
So
be.
I don't mean to get too personal here, but can you tell us how discussions went behind closed doors, or no?
As far as like that day,
Yeah.
uh, it's probably best we don't touch on it. To be honest,
All right. That. Hey. I at least had to try. I
Let's
at least
just
had to
say I've
try.
never. Let's just say I'll keep it vague. I've never taken place or I've never taken part in a conversation like that before.
That's fair. I'm not going to push the subject. I don't want you to say something you regret. We're moving on here.
Oh yeah.
Now, I know hockey is a business. In your professional opinion, do you think it was a good business move to release you? Try to take your personal feelings out of it. Do you think it was a good business move?
All right. So all jokes aside, being as serious as we can be right now, not ragging on anybody, but look at the roster right now. Gino D'Angelo played defense the other night. Gino D'Angelo has never played defense in his life. Coachman's hurt or whatever he's got going on. He didn't play in Danville or he didn't play in Danbury on Saturday. Schultz is back and forth. He played in Danbury. He just
Right,
doesn't like
right.
part time guys. So like I just foresee. I know we have the rights to a defenseman from Watertown. Um, I think he's on loan at this moment. I honestly name can't come to mind. We have rights to somebody, but I just don't really see the logic in it because like I made myself available. I would have done anything for the team. I just it is what it is. I respect it obviously, but it just in my opinion I
Mhm.
don't see like in my eyes where play was like that bad to where you needed to get rid of me. And now you kind of shot yourself in the
Right.
foot because Cam Yarwood's probably out for the season,
Well, live and learn, move on, I guess.
I suppose. But I
So
mean, like I said,
enough about.
I don't really hold
Go ahead.
anything. I don't really hold anything against him as far as like the decision. But in my eyes, it could have been handled a lot better. I could have someone could have had a conversation with me before the Monday after I got a home game taken from me after traveling for him because Jake Schultz was on loan to Worcester.
Right.
So like instead, I traveled 2.5 hours up to Watertown from Scranton because I had to work the following day
Mhm.
or the that day. And then, obviously I get released on the following Monday and I get scratched on Saturday in front of my friends and family. So that was kind of like the last straw for me, to be honest.
All right. Well, moving on from bingo for a moment here. Let's talk about Elmira now. You had your first game with Elmira, and ironically, it was against Binghamton last Friday in your new barn. You're at First Arena. What was that atmosphere like wearing those new colors?
Um, well, I'm pretty familiar with the area. I've been in the Elmira area for worked in there for like about a year and a half, 2 years, so I am kind of familiar with it. I do remember it being like a great town when the Jackals were there. It was fun to go to the games. I actually ended up going to a Jackals camp like right out of junior ed just for see where I stood type of deal. You know,
Mhm.
nothing I really thought anything would come of, but it was great. Since day one when I got to Elmira, I automatically got the respect from the coach. Um, their interim coach, not Kaz, who's on the bench every day, Mike Constantino, but
Mhm.
Mo Levac, phenomenal hockey player, like the most like nuts and bolts guy I've ever met in my life. Like just when it comes to hockey, like the guy knows his stuff. Um, he reached out to me previously. He's like, listen, like this could be a good thing here for you. I know it's not far. Like let's try to make it work. And I like honestly, I felt like it would be a good decision. I contemplated it for about a week or 2 weeks, and then we kind of got the ball moving. And honestly, Mr. Donner, he's shown me nothing but respect since I got there as well. So I couldn't really be
Mhm.
happier in that aspect and playing for an owner. Um, Personalizes with a team. He's just seems to be a good program from my standpoint.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to Steve a couple times. Seems like a great guy. I haven't heard anyone, say anything bad about him. He's majorly respected throughout the league. He's doing some great things there at First Arena. I see, some of the upgrades they've made is crazy compared
Absolutely,
to what they used to be.
definitely.
Now, back to this game. You added your name to the score sheet when you put a puck in the back of the net. 141 into the game. How did it feel scoring against Binghamton so early in that game?
Um, I actually had a conversation in our morning skate with an old Tyler Pekarski. We used to be in Binghamton together,
Mhm.
and we were taking one timers and just messing around at the end of practice. We're like, it's gonna happen tonight. Like it's gonna happen tonight. Like we're both gonna play.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah, we're both gonna play really well tonight, and I'm 100% gonna score. And then sure as shit it happened, and I was just like, I looked right over at Bingo's bench, and I was like, oh boy, sucks.
For you.
Yeah.
Sucks for you.
No, seriously,
Oh, man.
I honestly do. I love that whole team and in Binghamton. I really do. I did enjoy playing for that team more than anything. I think out of all the teams I played for in this league, I think I enjoyed playing for my hometown more than anything. But to
Mhm.
be able to do that on Friday, it was certainly a good feeling.
Right. I mean, like you said, I'm sure you're proud that you put on the green and black in front of your hometown, but it's also got to be kind of rewarding being released and then scoring against them.
Oh yeah, because I mean it was honestly a numbers game. Everyone told me it's like your numbers, your numbers, your numbers, and I was like, all right, here's 2 points.
I was just about to get to that assist too. I was like, not only did you score a goal, you got an apple in there too. So made
Yeah,
it a little bit sweeter.
just a tad. Yeah, they don't come that often, so when they do happen, it's you got to make the most of them.
I was gonna say 2 points in a game. That's got to be a career high for you. One more, you got your your season record.
Yeah, seriously, we gotta work
Oh
on that.
goodness.
It's funny how that works towards the end of your career, right?
Right. No, I'm just teasing you, man. I thought that was so cool that the way everything went down. Then you go to Elmira and you put 2 points on the board in the first game with the club against your former team. So I thought that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we're like I said, I really do. I do like the fit in Elmira. It's great. Like it really is, and it's a fun group to win with, right? Like the locker rooms, like they keep it nice and
Hmm.
light. Everyone's kind of personalizing in the mornings with each other. It's just I feel comfortable is a better word for it.
Hmm.
So
Right.
I don't know. I see good things moving forward.
Absolutely. Now, when you scored that goal and you put the puck past McVeigh, did you keep the puck as a souvenir?
I think our equipment guy grabbed it because obviously my first goal of the club. So they did put it in my
Right.
stall. I'm not sure if that was the one or not, but I guess I should, right? If they don't come that often.
Absolutely. You better put that in a trophy case, my friend, or a puck
Yeah,
case, whatever they're
seriously.
called. Now, I want to hear your honest opinion. Give us your honest opinion of the purple and orange jerseys there in Elmira.
Playing against them, hated them. Thought they were the ugliest thing in the world. Now that I'm wearing them, I actually think they're kind of sick.
I'm only
They're
asking
like,
because before the season started, I ranked the jerseys from like worst to best. And I thought Elmira had the ugliest jerseys. Like I understand the whole purple thing with, their seats and first arena, it matches, but
right.
pairing it with orange I thought was very gaudy.
Yeah,
But
but if you
as
look,
the season's gone on, it's actually kind of grown on me.
that's what I kind of where I'm at because I've also like looked at Orlando's setup because it's the same thing. Like, and
Yeah.
it looks really
Hmm.
good on Orlando. So I was just like, all right, maybe this isn't going to be so bad. No, I
Right.
think they look clean for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It took a little bit of time for me, but I'm right there with you. They're growing on me. They're not 10th anymore.
Yeah,
I
you're a
don't even know who
Syracuse
would
guy.
be
You
10th. I
gotta.
really don't think that there's a bad jersey in this league. I don't know.
I'm trying to think here. Maybe St. Clair when they were a team.
Well, oh yeah, I mean, I can go back and list terrible jerseys from former teams, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, like currently, I don't think that there's really a bad looking logo or a bad jersey.
No, I'd probably agree to that. Definitely.
I would say
I
Port Huron has some
didn't know
questionable ones, but I don't want all the Port Huron fans to get mad at me, so I'll just leave that alone.
the I thought they were gonna go. The Christmas jerseys they're kind of on par for their logo.
Yeah, I will say though that they killed it with that Grinch Prowler logo, whatever it
Oh
was.
yeah, absolutely,
Whoever came up with that, that was genius.
right on par with their logo. Loved it.
Absolutely. And last question, this is not Fed affiliated. You and I were talking before we started recording, and you were telling me that you are in Scranton with the USPHL as a skills coach. Can you tell us what you do there, or kind of a little bit about your job?
Um, there. Well, it's a job of many hats, right? So we have
Mm-hmm.
a complex that all the players like kind of stay at. They move in from all over the country, some from outside of the country, Australia. Got a bunch of kids from Europe, stuff like that. But I chaperone the kind of the apartment complex or dorm you would call it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as like skills coaching, they have a session in the morning that we hop on for, and session in the afternoon. And I'm just kind of out there, helping the kids like get a little bit better, push themselves, stuff like that, push pucks, whatever I can do. And then I also work with a small group of they're called 08. That's their birth year, but they're 14U team.
Mm-hmm.
They're AAA, and then I also head coach a U12 AAA team as well. So they keep me busy down here. And
I guess maybe.
I don't take anything for granted down here for sure. It's a great setup. I love what I do. Be able to wake up and work in hockey every day. And it's very rewarding. Especially seeing the following with playing how it transitioned from coaching, and it's very humbling for sure.
Absolutely, my friend. Now we're running low on time here, so let me get to a couple fan questions. Fans in the Binghamton area have fallen in love with you due to your dedication to youth hockey, like we were just talking about. Can you tell us about some of your experiences so far?
Um, well, when I moved down to Scranton, I was originally headed a U10 team. We were a single A team, struggled to hit numbers, so we actually played a season with 9 skaters and 2 goalies. So as you can tell, kind of hard to compete. Barely putting together 2 lines.
Yeah.
I've actually grown that team into a U12 AAA team. We started with 11, and we now have 16. And I actually had to make cuts for tryouts. First year AAA team, and we're kind of in the middle of the pack of the league. It's great. The kids are growing. They're getting better. They're falling like more and more in love with the game, and that's you can't really ask for much more than that.
Right. Question number 2. Do you still consider Binghamton fans and players to be part of your hockey family?
Oh, of course. You can't take back time there, and no matter how much you wish it could have been different, there's no changing what happened, and what I did in Binghamton while I was there. So, I wouldn't change it. I really wouldn't. I know there is a lot of BS with suspensions and saying this and that to whatever, and some people don't like me. It is what it is. But I love playing in that city, and I wouldn't change it. No, not at all. I still think those guys are family.
Speaking of that, 40 is your preferred number, correct?
Yep. Well, it was kind of thrown at me, to be honest. I didn't really get a
Oh,
choice when
40
I
was
came to
thrown
the
at you.
big.
What is your preferred number?
It's always been 13 in youth. Um, and then I think a couple teams someone already had it, and then I think in college, when I got to college, I picked 4 for some stupid reason, and then I went to my second college, and I picked 3, and then I was just like, it's close to 13, and I did somewhat decent in college, and I was like, maybe we'll go back to 13.
Right.
It's all
And
coincidental.
ironically, it's available in Elmira. So, what are the
I'm
odds?
I'm a superstitious guy, so it's I was like, maybe I'll pick 13. I'll get numbers with it.
I was about to say, with broken leg in Watertown, I don't remember what number you were wearing. Was it 13?
No,
Probably wasn't
it
13,
was
was it?
another number that was just thrown at me. It was 47.
Oh yeah, Gavin Yates made that one famous.
Yeah, they love giving me lineman numbers. Playing
Oh
offensive line
goodness.
for the Binghamton Black Bears.
Final fan question for you. Could you ever see yourself returning to Binghamton and lacing up the skates for the Black Bears eventually?
Depends on who the coach is.
That's a fair answer. I will leave it at that. And actually, one I'm not a fan, but question for you: how badass is that?
I like that shirt. I love that shirt.
That's right.
We got to
They're
get those.
available.
We
I'll
got
have to
to
get
get
you
those
one.
in V's. Get a little V neck.
The V. Okay, okay. Well, I just want to say thank you to all the Benchminer followers that have ordered their T-shirt. I think they're awesome. Um, we're gonna do some hoodies and pucks next. For those that may be interested, reach out to me. We'll get this ball rolling. Is there anything that you would like to say to Benchminer followers or Binghamton Blackbird Nation or Elmira Nation?
Um, just thank you guys so much for all the continued support. It's bittersweet, especially Friday, how things kind of ended. I do miss being there. I really do. And like I said, there's not much I would change for my time there. I do wish I was still there, but it's a good fit in Elmira, and I do like Elmira, and they treat me well. So I mean, I really have no complaints. I really do and enjoy everything, and I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So I think a lot of growth will come from this, and we'll kind of leave it at that.
Nicely said, my friend. Very professional, and looking forward to seeing some more games in that purple and orange jersey.
Hey, Sean, thank you so much for having me, man.
No problem, bro. Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.